morning. This is the day when I'm heading out to Ciney Truck Show in Belgium, one of the best truck shows in Europe. There are lots of great trucks going, including BM, and I do have a different trailer on than normal. We're in Ashford Truck Stop at the moment, and we're just going to head down the road to Folkestone Services, and I'm going to give Glenn Chambers back his trailer. I'm heading across on the train with the lads from BM. Gary from BM was also in Ashford Truck Stop last night with the limited edition Fire Scania. We make our way out of the truck stop and onto the M20. The journey down to Folkestone Services will only take around 20 minutes. And that's where we will meet Darren, Declan, Glenn and Matty, who have double manned 2 trucks overnight from Ireland. We've just got to go through a barrier in here. I think you've got to put like your reg in and stuff like that. Get in here, wait for Glenn and Darren to turn up. I'm going to drop this trailer, Glenn's going to pick it up. They're going to go and get everything washed. Then we're going to head on the train and over to Belgium. When I get to the barrier, all I need to do is put my number plate in, and I'll get 2 hours parking for free. Any more than that and we will have to pay. I get myself parked up next to Gary, and then we just wait for the guys to turn up, although they have let us know that they are not too far away, and that's why we move truck stops. I picked Glenn's trailer up from one of his colleagues yesterday, and I've been very careful with it ever since. We're just going to start getting the trailer unhitched here so that I'm ready to pull out when Glenn pulls in. I wind the legs down and I unplug all of the Susies. And because I'm driving over to Belgium with just a tractor unit, I undo the Susies at both ends and put them in my side locker. This is so that they don't swing around and rub the paintwork. I just need to undo the clip and pull out the pin, and then I'm almost ready to go when they turn up. I just need to take my number plate off the back, but when I get back there, it's gone. My number plate seems to have gone missing. We've got it. Do you know what, I just went round the back and I thought, my number plate's gone. I was very relieved that I hadn't lost it. Whilst we're waiting, I put a plate over the top of the Susie connections, so they're hidden and it looks nice and neat for the show. And then as soon as I jump back in the truck, they turn up. So I pull forward slightly, put the air down and then pull away from Glenn's trailer, meaning that he can back straight in under it. And I find myself a little space out of the way to back into the other side of Gary. I pop out to see if there's anything that I can do, but Glenn's got it covered, and Darren is also here in the BM bullnose. They're going to go off and wash. I need to get my wing tops out of the back of the fridge and put them back on. So these wing tops are the show wing tops. I normally have the bog standard black ones for working, as they can easily get scuffed, especially doing work like we do. But now that I don't have a trailer on anymore, I can put them on. It's me all prepared, ready to go, so when they go off and get a wash, I think we'll probably go for a coffee and have a little bit of a rest while we wait for them. As you can see, the back of Darren's cab is bare at the moment, and this is why they've double manned overnight to get here. The back of Glenn's cab was finished in the final moments before they left, but Darren's wasn't quite ready, so it's following on in a van behind, and will be put on at the Ciney Expo itself. We go for a much needed breakfast, and we hear from Matty some of the other problems that have occurred on the way. So what do you get called, Matty or Matt?
Call me anything but early in the morning. Matty, yeah.
Matty. So you've come over last night from Ireland.
Yeah.
Because there's been a bit of a rush job on.
A wee bit, yeah. Kinda meant to be a double manning job, but it takes me to forget the passport, doesn't it?
Yeah, so Matty has forgot his passport. I mean, who forgets their passport on the way to Ciney?
Takes me, like.
However, all is not lost and they've found a solution. We're back in the cab now, ready to go, and Matthew's going to film us going out. He's a right little giggler. Luckily, because the van was already coming out with the back piece for Darren's lorry, they were able to pick up Matty's passport, as he realised that he'd forgotten it quite early on into the trip, and they were able to get it in the nick of time for them to catch us up. On my way out, I need to put my registration in again, and once the barrier lifts, we can head down to the Eurotunnel. This will actually be the first time that I've gone on the train in a truck, and I have heard some horror stories of the train, so I'm not really sure what to expect. On the first kiosk, I need to put my details in and put in what I'm driving and carrying, which today is nothing as I don't have a trailer. There are a few kiosks to go through before getting on the train, all for different things, but we try to stay together so that we're on the same train. This chap in the queue next to me is from France and he's going to Ciney on Sunday. Unfortunately, I do get split up from the other guys and I get sent to a different queue on my own. Darren, Glenn and Gary have gone down to the other end, so they're probably going to be on the front half of the train. and I've been putting the lanes for probably the back half of the train. Oh, Glenn's trying to ring me. So we're not sure whether we'll all be on the same train or not. So Glenn's just rung to try and work out what's going on. We don't really know. We're not going to know until we get on the train and we start moving. Darren might be on the earlier train, but then I might be on the earlier train, but they've started moving down there now. I haven't started moving here, so I could be on the train behind those three. We just don't know yet, so we're just going to go with it. Oh, barrier's up, I'm going. As this is my first time on the train with a truck, the plan was that I would just follow the person in front of me and watch what they did. But somehow I ended up to be first in my queue, which has kind of scuppered that plan. I just have to try and guess and work it out for myself. And I'm kind of hoping that I'm getting on the right train. Just driving up to the entrance, I can see how narrow it is. And I'm actually really glad that I don't have a trailer on. I literally have a couple of inches each side of the truck. Can't even put my air up just in case I do get a little close to the curb, as my truck is just under height to get into the train. Bridge heights are also lower across Europe as standard, which is part of the reason why it would have been silly for me to bring a trailer, as the only trailer under that height that Chris has is a step frame. Once I'm parked, I put myself on ferry mode, which will just stop conflict of movement while I'm on the train. Now I just need to get out and go on the bus apparently, so I don't really know what I need. What do I even take? I'll take my jumper just in case. I've got my phone. Better take my keys. Yeah, I reckon that's all I need. I'm not allowed to stay in the cab. I need to take a shuttle bus down to a carriage where I get a free little coffee. I know a lot of drivers don't like going into the carriage, but it wasn't too bad and it only took around 45 minutes to get there. Back in the truck now and getting ready to get off of the train, which I'm not looking forward to either. Hopefully it'll be alright. Glenn and Gary are in front of me. Darren went on a different train, so they're going to wait for me just up the slip road. I kind of know where I'm going because I've done it in a car before, but it is always nice to follow somebody, isn't it? Oh, we're going. After experiencing the train for the first time in a lorry, I can safely say I'm not a big fan, and I definitely prefer to go on a boat, even if it does take a bit longer. As I come up the slip road, I spot Glenn in the distance and manage to catch him up, and before long we're all back together again and heading in the right direction towards Ciney. For the first part of the journey, we are heading through France. After about an hour, we stop for a coffee, as the guys that have been double manning and travelling through the night feel like they need it. We've had our coffee, had some refreshments. Glenn and Darren wanted to stop for a shower before we got there, so they've had their showers, we've got our coffee, and now we're going to head down to Ciney Expo. From the train down to the Ciney Expo should take around 3.5 hours. However, there are a few road closures on the way, which resulted in us sitting in quite a bit of traffic. However, because we stopped for the break and we got a 45-minute break in, we are going to make it to the Ciney Expo in one hit. As we get closer, I am getting quite excited. On previous years, when I haven't brought a truck, I've been sat in a cafe near the entrance to the expo, taking photos and videos. But this time, I'm driving a truck in myself. On the way in, I spot the truck that won the show last year, which is a Norwegian truck by Andreas Nittenberg. It actually seems quite surreal to be sat on the other side of it, and it almost feels like a bit of a blur, as there's so much to take in. I also spot Leanne and Gemma on the way into the truck show, sat in the cafe where we normally are, both of whom are truck drivers themselves, and have come over for a nice trip away. Once we head in through the gates, we head down to the cattle market at the bottom. This is where all the trucks gather before the show to get washed and cleaned up, drop their trailer if needs be, and of course do a bit of socialising. As much as it's a show where the lorry needs to look pristine, it is also a social event, and us truckers don't get much chance to socialise through our work. Once we get down to the bottom, we all find a space to park up. Glenn and Gary both need to drop their trailers as they are not taking them into the show, but they will need them after the show to do loads around Europe, unlike myself and Darren, who will be bobtailing back to the UK. This actually feels really surreal and I don't really know what to do. I obviously need to wash my truck and get stuff sorted, but there's so many people here that I know as well, I just don't know who to speak to first. Grant and Gareth Linley have brought their bullnose over from G&G Transport and they are giving me a hand to wash. Gareth is on the lance and Grant is holding the camera. It's 36 degrees and I'm kind of regretting going to wash my truck, as even with 2 of us on the job, it's drying so quickly it's leaving watermarks.
Content creator, what do you think I'm doing?
As much as I don't want to get my hair wet, this was actually quite refreshing in this very sticky heat.
What we're doing, Jake, we're going for a walk with phone. What is it, J-Dog? Is here? Ah, J-Dog.
You don't have to pay for any of this.
The Trucker Tim wannabe.
Yeah.
Is here.
Is
Baby
it
Tim.
€25? Loving it, me. I love it here, me. It's great going. I love it.
Mr. Roman's here.
Yeah, big shit.
Mr. Roman. You say hello to YouTube, Mr. Roman.
There are 8 bays here to wash on, and for €25 you get half an hour on the wash bay. Mine wasn't actually that dirty and I kind of regret giving it a full wash. I should have just gone round the wheels and the bottom half of the lorry, as now it's a mad dash to get it dried off to prevent watermarks. I was very lucky that Leanne and Jamie came down at this point and gave me a hand, as I wouldn't have got anywhere near as much done without them. And after all that, it's time to say hello to a few people.
So Darren's had multilingual lessons. So what is this, Darren?
Douche.
No, that's a shower. A
Twat.
No, that's a twat.
A twat. Left is...
What's the good left? Ghost. Please? A ghost. A ghost. He was doing so well today. Okay, thank you. Merci. Merci. What do you got, Jim?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I think you've done really well. In a week?
10 days,
Yeah.
10 days. Tell her what you're going to do when you get home. I'm going to go to bed with earphones on, listening to French.
Oh yeah?
Probably got kids more, okay?
Yeah, but I think you need to change your number plate.
To this?
No, that.
Why?
It looks like it says no mates.
No mates.
No, mate. Yeah, it's right.
Oh! I won, mate.
In the evening, I go out for dinner with the lads from BM at the very nice steakhouse just up the road from the expo. And then we head back down to the expo to see Darren's lorry get finished.
Even Conley's fitting it. Yeah, it's crazy with empty stuff. Yeah, come back.
Darren and Glenn are right at the front of the hall, in pride of place right next to my friend Heinrichs from Germany. Darren Hollywood, the man that does all the sign writing and signs for BM, is here to fit it on for them.
What do you like at the A-Way?
I think it's very good. After all the hard work of getting the sign done and getting it over just in time, they are being very careful about it being put together, as they don't want to fail at this last hurdle. It also needs to be wired in, and connections were already made so it could be wired in easily. Darren Hollywood said he hasn't slept for 4 days to make sure this is done. Whilst they're doing this, Glenn sorts out the important job of making sure that his alcohol cabinet at the back of the truck is up to scratch. And after all that rushing and stress, it's finally complete. So this is the boss man at BM Transport, and you've brought another driver with you, haven't you? Over there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
what's his name?
He's about this way. I can't think of his name. Oh, I do. Yeah, Glenn somebody. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. So the reason for this bit of the video is that 2 years ago, when Glenn was driving into the show, I let everyone know who Glenn was on the video, but I didn't realise that Bossman Darren was in the truck behind. And this is all that I said. He's followed in by another one of BM's 770s. He mentioned it a couple of times, so I knew I had to make it up. Darren had booked his team a house with lots of rooms, just a few miles away, so most of them headed back there to get some kit for the night, whilst myself and a few others went back down to the cattle market. I still had a little bit of editing to do on the video that was coming out the next day, so I needed to go and do that before I could socialise. This truck here, Roker Solutions, is owned by Roman, a very clever man when it comes to truck electricals. He also sells the melon lights on his website, and this is the first time that I've seen melon lights do this. And of course, the first thing that came to my mind was, wouldn't this look good on a carnival cart? It's Saturday morning now here at Truckshow Ciney. I was up nice and early. To be fair, I didn't get a lot of sleep. I went to bed around 1ish and I got up around 6. So I've had a wash, I've cleaned the cab, I've organised all my stuff, things that I should have done yesterday when I was chatting. So at Ciney, how it works is everybody's in the cattle market and then they'll be put in place this morning, either inside or outside. Really, I just need to wait until it's my turn to go in. They haven't started moving anyone in yet. It's 6:20, so I just get a little bit of cleaning done before we go in. And also I've made myself a cuppa, obviously. Although some people might think I'm a bit mad having a hot drink because it is so hot here. I can't even describe the heat. It's just really muggy and close. And I managed to find some SPF in my cab, SPF 30, so hopefully I won't burn when the sun comes out. After a while, the trucks start moving down towards the show, along with the Jolly Boys, as they've nicknamed themselves. So basically, this is a group of chaps that decided to go on a 10-day road trip in their classic trucks. As you can imagine, with trucks this age, it wasn't a straightforward trip. And because of that, there's a lot of stories to tell about their adventures, and at one point even an encounter with the police, although it was all sorted with a bit of smooth talking. On the trip they have done 2 truck shows, one being a classic truck show in Belgium, and last but not least, finishing up in Ciney for the final few days of the party. If you want to hear more about their trip, head over to Nipper the Rest of Man's Facebook page, and I'm sure in the next month or so he will have a YouTube video out on the trip itself. Like me, he's always quite busy working, so he does struggle to get the videos out straight away. I'm in the queue waiting to go in now, so hopefully it won't be too long before we're in. I've got trucks queued up behind me, and I've got a big queue in front of me as well. Gary in front of me here queuing, and hopefully Becky will be able to push in between us so we all stay together. And here's Reese, Becky's partner, trying to get a photo of the 2 Volvos together. Oh, he's starting to get serious now with his photography. We are getting closer now to the start. I'm actually in through the gate now, and I'm just waiting to get parked up. I got split up from Gary and Becky. They sent them in a different paddock. So on my email it said red zone P1. So I'm in this bit and they've been sent up to the top in the new bit. But it's quite lucky because some of the Scottish lads are in front of me. So I've come in with the Irish and Welsh and ended up with the Scottish. I'm in now, so the first thing I want to do is get the tyres blacked and slam it right down to the floor. Come all the way to Ciney. And I've seen people from Devon, and actually I used to work with both of these at Wayne's Transport. Some of the trucks are still coming in, and of course it wouldn't be Will Pringle without making an entrance. No, I'm videoing. One person that I really enjoy seeing drive into a truck show is Will Pringle. Even though he's done countless truck shows, he still has a smile on his face like a young lad driving a truck into a show for the first time. I managed to find a ladder to borrow to do the top half of my cab, once again kindly sponsored and videoed by G&G Transport. Shortly after, Philip Judge comes over and makes me have a break from cleaning and takes me into the main hall for a drink. We're just getting ourselves a beer and we've just had a photo taken at Ciney.
Just to remember.
After that, I see my friend Carmen Heinrich.
Water.
Oh, I love water actually. This is inside the cab in Heinrich's Thermaliner's brand new wagon and drag. The thought and detail that have gone into this truck has been absolutely unreal. Oh, thank you. So that's your coffee machine there?
Yeah, it's also dipped. You see the lasers?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
laser.
that is so
Done
much
with a laser?
Yeah, it's so much detail because here this is lace
Yeah.
and the curtain.
Oh, on the...
And everything, also the buttons and everything is dipped.
The hype around this truck is absolutely incredible and well deserved. Even when Carmen goes to get something out of the back of the truck, she has an audience that just wants to see what's inside the back of the truck. Meanwhile, outside, Richard Payne is getting the party started. He's also one of the Jolly Boys and apparently has had his dancing shoes on all week. With Richard's dance moves, he'd definitely get a place on a carnival cart, but I'm not too sure about Nipper. Today's been quite a busy day and I haven't actually done that much filming, but I've showered, changed, we're going to go to dinner and then I will film some content tomorrow. Once again, I headed up to the local steakhouse with the lads from BM and had a lovely meal before making our way back for the fireworks. And of course, being from Bridgewater, I'm always thankful to finish the day with some fireworks, although it's not quite like our squibbing. And then after the fireworks, everyone makes a lot of noise by beeping their horns and revving their engines. And of course filming it all on their phones. And this is Grant from G&G, who has offered to hold my camera a couple of times over the weekend. I really do love it at this time of night with all the engines on and the lights, as it gives me the same magic that I get from carnival and fair, something that has been a big part of my life from a small child. And as I head round, I get back to the Jolly Boys where clearly things are escalating.
Why have you got sunglasses on?
It's Sunday morning now. Yesterday was a bit of a whirlwind. I got in here probably about 10:30, 11, straight on to cleaning, and it was just clean chat all day. And I've seen so many people that I know, not just from the UK but from other countries as well, and it was an amazing day and it was just all go. So hopefully today I can go round and actually have a look at the trucks, because I didn't get a chance yesterday. I'm just going to pop into the hall, go to the loo, try and get some Truck Junkie stuff before the public come in.
Once again, Truck Junkie bought double the amount of stuff that they did last year and ran out of almost everything by Saturday afternoon. It just shows how popular this show is getting year on year.
So I'm finally back from going into the hall. Truck Junkie didn't have a lot left. They didn't have any normal t-shirts left, so I've managed to get myself a polo. My friend Jacko, he wanted a hoodie, but they didn't have any left in his size. They didn't have any pin badges, so I've got some stickers for him and some flags. So hopefully he'll be happy with that. But I went in there at 9 o'clock thinking, right, I'll get in there, go to the loo, get a coffee and get the merch and everything. And I've come out after talking to everybody. It's actually taken me 2.25 hours to do that because I've just been chatting to everyone. So I've come back here, I'm going to have another coffee and start cleaning, and then I'm going to go round and have a look at everything.
I've given the truck a wipe around as it poured down with rain last night, and it was a little bit streaky, so I've given it a wipe around, and now I'm going to go into the hall and actually have a look at some of these trucks.
Hello.
Hello. There are quite a few weeder trucks here this year, some inside and some outside. At Ciney, you get a lot of very different trucks where people had thought outside the box. And this bullnose Volvo is no exception. This 4 Series of Sharps wasn't the one they were originally intending to bring. Unfortunately, earlier in the year, their newest flagship Valhalla was in a fire and was damaged beyond repair at less than a year old. So instead, they've brought this one, which is always fun to look around, as it has so many in-keeping details with the Pirates of the Caribbean films, like having a sword for the pin handle, the pirate number plate, and the matching interior with pirate ship airbrushing. There is so much to see here, old and new. Some trucks that I've seen before here and some that I haven't, but one that I have seen before is Andreas Nittenberg, and this is a truck that won the show last year, although my favourite of his is the green one that he has. At Ciney this year, there seems to be a very strong Scottish presence, including Malcolms that have 2 trucks inside, both of which are different and stunning and a little bit eccentric. And to build a truck that deserves to be on the red carpet inside at Ciney, I think you need to be a little bit creative, a little bit eccentric, a little bit crazy and very hard-working, and not to mention quite deep pockets as well. The paintwork on some of these trucks is absolutely incredible. You would have thought that to get something like this, it would have to be a wrap, but this is all painted. And for me, I just wouldn't know where to start masking it all out, or which colour to start with first, or whether to start with the airbrushing or the paint. It takes a very clever, skilled person to create something like this, and I'd hate to think how it would be repaired if you had an accident. Someone's very impressed with Glenn's alcohol cabinet at the back of his truck. I tried to have a look round Heinrich's yesterday, but but there were so many people around it was hard to have a good look. This is certainly the truck at the show that seems to be getting the most attention, and maybe that's because of the attention to detail that it has. It's definitely a truck that is go big or go home, and they've certainly taken the challenge to go big. The whole truck is airbrushed in the theme of Day of the Dead, which is a tradition that is still celebrated in Mexico on the 1st and 2nd of November. However, it was developed over 3,000 years ago by the Aztecs, as they believed that nobody should grieve the loss of a beloved ancestor, and instead their lives should be celebrated. To this day, Mexicans see the Day of the Dead as a family reunion, and the dead ancestors become the guests of honour to be remembered and celebrated, with a day of storytelling, music, dancing and feasting. Red roses are a popular flower for the Day of the Dead celebrations. Red is a colour used to symbolise love and passion in Mexico, so it's quite common for red roses to show up in bouquets or at ceremonies during this celebration. On the drawbar here, they have even airbrushed in the infamous Ciney duck. Red roses are everywhere on this truck. The ones on the side are very noticeable and prominent, yet there are many subtly airbrushed all around the truck. And the thing that gives this truck the edge is that every little detail has been thought of, and every space has been given something interesting to look at. The side lockers have been custom built with custom interior. The tuner wheels on the front have been beautifully done, partly painted with beautiful engraving to match the rest of the truck, and it's even engraved where the wheel sits on the hub. The detail in getting the embroidery just right is incredible, and using lace, which is not always an easy fabric to work with, or indeed to colour match with something like this, along with the laser detail and the engraving, and choosing where to put it so that it balances out and doesn't look too much, is testament to Carmen and Sasha's design and to Special Interior's reputation. And I know that Carmen and Sasha love the Special Interior products as well. Even the Durabrights are beautifully engraved with flowers. The wheel nut covers are all matching Alcoa ones, even on the tuner wheels. And even the hubs have been airbrushed. This setup of a lorry and drag is very similar to our carnival cart, and the dolly that sits between the lorry and the trailer is totally detachable. The words on the visor that read "La vida es bella" means life is beautiful, which is certainly fitting for this truck and its theme.
Hello. That's alright, I won't film you.
Not me, anyone else, just not me.
Lovely Jonna, Fred's wife, said hello to me before realising that I was actually filming. As much as I do love a Scania, one thing that I absolutely love about Ciney is that it's not all about Scanias like most UK shows. There are all makes of trucks in this show here today, and all have been given the same care and attention when styling as the next one. As you go round and speak to each other, one of the questions that we ask each other is what do you think's going to win, and the other question is what has stood out to you. And for me, I found this truck very interesting for a number of reasons. You don't have to look far with this truck to realise it's something a little bit different. I like how the pattern on the paintwork doesn't just stop on the outside, it also matches inside the door. The interior has been kept classy and looks like a nice space to relax in. The thing that I find most interesting about this truck is that it does farm animal feed deliveries. Yet it looks so different to the blower trailer that I used to pull on Wayne's Transport. I would love to know how this works in real life, and I would love to see inside of it. Looking at the S on the side of the number plate, it tells me that it's Swedish, and it also looks like it pulls a drag trailer as well. It looks extremely clean to be a farm animal feed blower, as these pipes will constantly be dragged through the mud and the dirt, not to mention the dust from the animal feed that sets like concrete when it gets wet. At a guess, it looks like there are quite a few different compartments on this truck to put different types of animal feed in, and I'd love to know how it's all separated. With the trailers that I pulled at Wayne's, there were doors inside of the trailer so that you could haul a number of different products, but the feed at the back had to be blown off first, and you couldn't do it in any other order, other than starting from the back and working your way forwards. But with this truck, it looks like you can do it in any order that you like. It also looks like it has a lot more pipes, and could be a bit more complicated. So despite the fact that my favourites to win are Heinrichs, because of the styling and the overall look, this truck has certainly been the most interesting for me. I'd love to see it in action and learn more about how it works. There are a number of bullnoses in the hall today, including Lee Herberts, who runs Retro Truck Show at Gaydon. Over here we have a brand new truck from the winners of Ciney 2 years ago. They've kept this truck in a similar colour scheme and style, and with these guys it's always incredibly classy. These guys are Italian, and it's very different from the normal Italian style. I went to a truck show in Italy a few years ago, and the style was all very brash with lots of lights, speakers, air horns and chrome, and it almost seemed like the louder and more fun it was, the better it was. Whereas this seems to be the total opposite. One thing that I know will be impeccable on this truck is the interior, because this company actually does truck interiors. Once again, it's very classy with lots of cute little details. And once again, Enjoy Driving has pulled it out of the bag and produced a beautiful truck. And then I bump into quite a famous family in this industry.
Hello.
Oh, hi, you alright?
Hello.
Are you?
Look who I found.
Trucker Tim's here. You're lucky to see me.
Why? oh yeah, I did hear about that.
That's fine, you can leave that. So you're looking around my truck with Nipper.
Oh yeah.
Having a little look. It's quite low, isn't it? Too low.
Very low.
Next year I want it here.
Yeah. Do you reckon it'll be done by next year?
Yeah,
but trucks are never done in the time that.
No.
Yeah.
I want it to be here next year.
What have you seen here? What you think is like your thing?
No, it's all amazing, isn't it?
Have you found anything on another truck that you think I'm going to put that on mine?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But
No.
I do keep getting lots of inspiration, but my painter Darren isn't very happy with me.
I think he's had a nice week. I don't think he's going to want to go back to work.
No, because he does a good job. Everyone wants to use Darren, then I've obviously got to wait my turn.
Yeah.
But then the longer it sits there, not painted, the more chance it gives me to look around and think, oh, we could do that, we could do that, and then it has to go back.
So you're basically, the longer he takes, you're just going to give him more work.
Yeah, give him more work. So he really needs to crack on.
Yeah. What do you think?
He's got some merch.
We love the UK shows.
Yeah.
Such a different atmosphere over here.
Yeah.
So more I don't know, it's completely different. Look up there.
Leo would like to tell you that yesterday was his first time on an aeroplane.
Oh, was it? Oh, first time on an aeroplane.
Got on really well.
Yeah, well, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Here we have a nice Volvo from Switzerland, owned by a very nice chap, and it's always great to see his truck at a show. Muller is another truck show favourite, and if you remember on last year's video, they brought the Indiana Jones truck. But this year they have brought a new truck in the theme of Shania Twain. The full outfit is a lorry and drag, but inside here today they just have the lorry. This is one truck that I really liked. It was cute and quirky and has a nice little understated style about it. It's the first time I've seen one of their trucks, and I was really glad that I did. This truck has similar colours to Amy Leeson's from the UK, except hers is a Scania, and if she hasn't got pink beacons yet, I think she should get some. And looking at the back, I'm guessing they haul some sort of waste. Another truck that has got everyone talking at the show is this Santos truck from Greece, and is themed on the UFC fighter Conor McGregor. It's a Scania 770 V8 with a matching trailer. This is a stunning truck and has been painted beautifully, with a great eye for detail, and everything has been kept very neat and tidy. And the paintwork looks just as incredible up close as it does from a distance. I really like how it's been painted and shaded. Throughout the truck, all the lights have smoky lenses, and the style throughout the truck is very consistent. It's a very impressive outfit, and I'm sure it will get a prize today. There are some trucks that I've seen that look even better driving around than they do stood still, and this green one here is definitely one of those. This here is a new company from Joost van den Elsen, the original founder of Truck Junkie, and this add-on under the door is to stop people climbing on your truck. The interior of this truck is absolutely stunning, and looking around this truck, Joost has completely rebranded from that Truck Junkie style, which is not easy to do after having that same style for so many years. Looking around, there are some absolutely stunning trucks here. Some I've seen before and some I haven't. And also some unusual ones, like this Iveco. It's been done in the theme of Metallica and has some very interesting details on it. This year, the show is slightly bigger than it has been before, with this new paddock at the top of the hill. The crowd this year has been bigger than ever, so I think it was a good decision to make the show a little bit bigger. Up here, the standard of the trucks is just as high, with lots of cool trucks to look around, including this Outliner one, which stands out for being different. I personally really like this Polish truck, and the whole combination caught my eye as it drove into the show on Friday. And by the looks of it, the company is nearly as old as me. I really like the colour scheme and the airbrushing and the whole feel of the truck. This one also has the smoky glass on the lights, and this is the same throughout the truck and the trailer. Once again, there's lots of little details on this truck that makes it stand out. And it's been kept very neat and classy. And it looks like the lads from Steve Wheels have got a good spot right opposite the catering, and they've brought 3 of their trucks over all the way from Cornwall. They always try and bring a couple of trucks over, and they come over as a team to make sure that they're all clean. And up here is also where Becky and Gary have been hiding. Down here is just outside of the hall, and before this year was the only outside area. Some of the trucks that are outside this year have at some point been on the red carpet inside. And on this back section there are quite a few combinations. Hands up if you think Steve was a bit rubbish at hide and seek when he was younger. This truck caught my eye on Friday as I came in, as it has 2 sets of tuner wheels on it, and they have been very nicely painted. 1 set are on the front and 1 set are on the midlift. Another one of the truck show favourites is Ronnie Coosters, which are always kept to a very high spec and style. And of course, the Lens brothers. And then I'm back down at the Jolly Boys corner to see how they're feeling today.
Morning. How are we this morning?
Hello there.
How are you feeling today? Yeah.
Cyprus judge last night.
And then it's back to the truck to get organised to leave after the results.
Hello. See, everyone's hiding from me today. Hungover?
It's getting close to the results. I've just been and had a shower as well because I'm back on the boat tonight and then straight back to work tomorrow, so I just wanted to freshen up. I'm going to go and get myself a coffee and then it will be results time.
The last result to be given out is the winner of the show, and I have my fingers crossed for Heinrichs. And I'm pleased to say they did it. The winners of Truckshow Ciney 2025. I go over to congratulate them afterwards, and there are so many tears of joy, not just from Sasha and Carmen, but from the whole team. Not only did they win the show, they also got the public choice as well. For the last 2 years, the winner of Truckshow Ciney has had the feminine touch, where both the man and the woman in the relationship have both been truck drivers. Both Glenn and Darren from BM won trophies for their trucks as well. And after saying my goodbyes, I need to make my way back to my truck and try to get out, which is also what everybody else is trying to do.
That's it, the results are done. I'm so made up for Sasha and Carmen. Not only does the truck deserve it, but they do as well. They really do. They're so passionate about what they do, both of them, and I'm so pleased for them. Carmen nearly made me cry. See, a lot of stress over the last few years that has made this moment, and it finally was worthwhile, and yeah, I couldn't be happier for them. I've just got to wait to try and get out now, because everyone's leaving at the same time, obviously, and I'm kind of stuck in it.
Andreas and Andrea going out. Andreas is quite a big social media personality in Norway with trucking, and he's a really good fun person to follow online. I finally get a gap and I'm on my way out. Everyone lines the streets on the way out to try and get photos and videos of the trucks whilst they're moving. Trucks can look even better moving along the road than they can parked up. And with some of these trucks, with the sounds of the engines and the air horns, it can just give you a totally different feel for the truck. As we head out of the gate, we need to head back down towards the cattle market. Glenn and Gary need to go and pick their trailers up, and William from the Show Truck channel wants to take some photos. As you can see, every day is a show day for Glenn Chambers, as he's making sure that his tyres are blacked on his trailer before he goes. William from the Show Truck channel gets our 4 Volvos in line, ready for some photos. And then after saying our goodbyes, it's time for me and Darren to head off. We were in the cattle market for a little while, so some of the spectators have actually gone now, but there are still quite a few to take photos and videos on the way out. This will go on for miles, with the spectators thinning out as we go. and we'll also get people going past in their cars and filming us. We head straight back towards the boat and we should do it in one hit. We'll be catching the boat tonight, and once I get off the boat on the other side, I'll be getting as far as I can. Darren has Matty in with him, with his passport, and they'll be double manning all the way back to Ireland in one hit. We do, however, just pop into the services for a quick stop.
Stop for the loo and to get a quick coffee, and now we're back in the cab and we're going to head straight down the road. We haven't even had 15 minutes yet, 8 minutes, and we're just going to get on with it because we should make it in 4.5 hours, so it should be fine.
The famous last words before pulling out of the services and into some traffic. Thankfully, it doesn't last long and we're on the move again, with the journey taking us around 4 hours. Darren goes through the booth first at the ferry terminal, and then I pull up to give my details over. Everything's good to go and I make my way to the next check-in window. Sometimes I'm not really sure what all these different windows do, but I hand everything over, they check it and they hand it back, so I'm guessing everything must be fine. And after I've gone through the last one, I need to make my way around the big dock area to the designated lane that I've been put in.
I'm in the queue for the boat now. I can get on the next available boat, which by the looks of the ticket is at 1 a.m. Now 10 to 11, so we've got a bit of a wait. Hopefully we can get on, have something to eat maybe, or a coffee, and I think the journey's around 3 hours-ish.
Eventually we get the signal and we can start moving onto the boat. The boat doesn't seem massively full tonight, but I'm guessing that's because it's so late. Darren and Matty get sent the other way, so I'll meet them up at the Truckers Lounge. But first, I put myself on ferry mode.
I'm absolutely starving. I've literally lived on coffee this weekend.
There wasn't much that I fancied, so I went for some beef chilli and chips, and it was actually quite nice. After that, I sat on the chair for a bit and shut my eyes, until the tannoy told us that we could go back to our vehicles. Once we were off the boat, Darren and Matty and myself went our separate ways, and my main aim this morning was to get round the M25 before it started getting busy, which at this time in the morning shouldn't be a problem. And being a Sunday night into a Monday morning, I was hoping for no road closures as well.
So it's light now. I've parked up in Hotwood Services. I'm about half an hour away from the place that I need to be. If I go straight there now, they won't be in yet. Plus, I would have to have a 45 and then go on a bit further. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop here, have my 9 off, and then go ahead to the place in Birmingham I need to go. It looks like it might be a really hot day, so hopefully it won't be too hot in the cab. I've parked down the bottom in the services out of the way, so hopefully it won't be too noisy. To get here, I've done around an 8-hour drive, and actually I don't feel too bad at all considering I've been up overnight. So hopefully I will actually get some sleep.
I'd just like to say a massive thank you to Chris and Crystal for putting the application in and letting me go, and to Darren from BM for booking my train and my boat. Darren and the rest of the lads from BM were absolute gentlemen the whole weekend. Thank you to the Jolly Boys for a great weekend of entertainment, and to everybody else who gave me a helping hand. Once again, a massive congratulations to Carmen, Sasha and the team, and thank you for watching. Don't forget you can get my merch at f28print.com.